grandfather used to say operations research was his master's degree, and he said operations research is a statistical approach that allows you to answer questions poorly that would otherwise be answered even worse. Right? That's what this is all about. And I do reject the fact that it's all based on data and that we hope the correlations continue. There is, again, going back to human motivations, and if we go back to reductio ad absurdum, let's assume that every single asset class just becomes the same thing and they move up and down together. What would have to happen for every single asset class that goes from moving up and down together in the identical way to stop moving up and down together? What motivations in different sectors and different economies would then force an asset class to deviate, and why? Why is gold different than stocks? Why are stocks different than sovereign bonds, and so on? So there is an underlying first principles. I know you love that word, Jason. First principles reality. What is first principles? Is first principles really real? Well, matrix action. But but we have to anchor to some sort of lived experience reality, understanding how human beings work, and then based on that, you can create a model, right? That is poorly answered, but better than most. And I was listening to Ricky Gervais be interviewed by Stephen Colbert.
The best.
And one of his questions was, how do you know that the Bible isn't real or that God isn't real? And he's like, let's just do this, okay? This is why I lean on science. I lean on science because if we were to erase the memories of every human being on the planet, and we had, we're all going to do it. We're all humans. We're going to rewrite those books, right? We're going to rewrite the Quran. We're going to rewrite the Bible. Those books will be different, vastly different than the ones that we have written thus far. But the observed reality of our existence via science, the materials reality, how the world works, will come to the exact same answers, right? And so from drawing the parallelism to zealotry in the world of finance, we see a lot of people make a lot of money making predictions about the second coming of the NFTs or the second coming of gold, right? That's zealotry. That's a story. That's a narrative based on very little observable evidence, versus what we're trying to accomplish, which is using scientific method, first principle thinking, creating a framework by which if our memories got erased and we came back at it again, the zealot narrative of any asset class will be different, but the scientific method that we've taken to come up with our conclusions of portfolio construction will likely all converge again, right? But that's the difference. That's why you can lean on science.
Dude, you just dog whistled Jason on 3 different topics.
Yeah. So no, it's fine. But yeah, if you say first principles for a third time, my head's gonna explode. But I want to point out something specific. I mean, you guys know your Kuhn and Popper that there's only 2 types of scientific theories. Ones that have been disproven, those ones yet to be disproven. And I know Mike and I are 20 years older than both of you guys, but we've all seen a lot of shit happen that we didn't expect to happen, right? Everything we thought was a foundational first principle bedrock of investing has gone the opposite way that we thought it went. But also, I'm just curious. I wanted to bring it back to my question for Adam is I'm curious. When you guys run, you guys done these great charts for 100 years. That I quite frankly I love that show what are real returns. But I'm curious how you settle it in your mind of figuring out what that inflation rate as an inflation basket changes for the last 100 years and how appropriate is that to figure out real returns. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I'm just saying I'm wondering how you start thinking through that when you guys are building charts like that.
No, I mean, I think, look, really the reality is everything is illustrative, right? Yes, of course, we don't have
intuition pumps.
Yeah. Exactly. We're not making any sort of precise claims about exactly what the real returns have been, or, exactly what inflation looked like, or even what asset prices look like. That there's been revisionist history in asset prices too. So there's the point of charts and papers and statements like that are, again, to sort of jar people out of their the reverie that they get hypnotized by the shit in the Wall Street Journal and Barron's and CNBC and et cetera, and just to sort of point out you're living in a dream state, right? Or you're living in a dream state that differs from reality by more than the dream state that I'm pitching, right? They're all filtered through our perceptual faculties, and none of it's all map. There's no territory, but the map that I've got is closer to reality than the map that you're operating on. And I don't want to say that there's a hill over there and you need to go take it, but there are hills. There's no hills on your map. There's hills on my map, right? And so, you should be prepared to take hills from time to time, right? That's basically it's almost like it's like meta zealotry, right? Like it's not zealotry about any particular view about how markets should operate, and more a meta zealotry on, I don't have strong views on how markets operate, so I want to spread my bets to the greatest extent possible.